So let's say you just woke up with back pain, or maybe you reached behind you and you pulled something that was a little too heavy and you have back pain. Or maybe you've been sitting for too long, or you sat weird, or you slept weird and you woke up and you have back pain. The first thing I would tell you to do is, if you have a massage gun or any kind of massager and you have someone to do it for you, or you can reach it, have someone put that massage gun or thumper or whatever it is on the spot or around the spot that hurts. Give it a good massage for just a few minutes to get the blood flow to that area, because the movements that we're going to do will feel better if it's already got a little blood flow. If you don't have that, totally fine, start here, but that's what I would do personally first. Then if you have the ability to take Aleve or ibuprofen and you want to do that, now would be the time to go ahead and do that. I then would suggest you throw on some Icy Hot with lidocaine or some Biofreeze, whatever you have on it, just because it's going to help it feel kind of heated up as we do these movements. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and do that now, pause the video, and then you're going to need to find a doorway, and you're going to need a roller. So if you've got both of those things available, go ahead and grab them now and then come back to me. Now, we're going to go to this doorway here. Now, my doorway is wider than yours probably will be, but I just wanted to kind of give you the idea of what I want you to do. You're going to take your hands on the sides of the doorway, and most of you have done this with me before, if you've worked with me before, but you're going to go into a little step forward, your back heel stays down, and then come back, and then you're going to alternate your steps. So when you're doing this, you're getting some extension in your lumbar spine, thoracic spine, and cervical spine. You're working your whole body from floor to ceiling here, okay? So we're just gonna do a couple of these. I don't care how many you do, as many as you want, okay? Then if you can take your feet hip width apart, you're gonna take your hands a little bit taller, because that's gonna create some space in your vertebrae. If you can, and you're not in severe shooting pain, take those hips side to side. Now here's where you're gonna notice, is it on one side or the other? Because a lot of times when people tell me their back hurts, they usually say, it's not on one side, it's all the way across. And then I have them do this and they go, oh, actually, it's on the right side, or oh, actually it's on the left side. Okay, so try this a couple of times. And again, if you feel shooting pain, you stop. And then we're gonna add a little rotation. And here's where you'll really be able to tell, usually, if it's on one side or the other. So let's just say that you felt it more on your right. You're gonna shift your body a little bit closer to the right side of this doorway, and you're gonna do a little hip tap to the door, okay? I like to hold on, because when your central nervous system realizes that it's got some support, it's going to let you stretch a little bit farther. So you're gonna take that hand and you're gonna shift it over your head. If you don't really feel a stretch here, then you're gonna come out away from the door a little bit, not all the way, but a little bit, and then you're going to try it again until you feel a stretch there. You can hold it here, you can shift your body, you can take one leg forward, one leg back, and add that tap again. You can switch legs, see which one feels better for you. You can take this leg and you can put it behind you and add a little bit deeper of a stretch. Play around with it, see what feels better. Don't push it to the point of sharp pain. Next, I'm gonna have you go to the floor, and this is where you'll want your roller. So hopefully you grabbed that. Before we add the roller though, I'm gonna have you on your hands and your knees. And we're gonna go into a little arm reach, rotation, all sorts of stuff. So when you're here, and people do the cat and cow move here from yoga, I don't really want you to go that deep into an extension of the lumbar spine. I want you to think about your thoracic spine rounding and flattening. Can you tell the difference between me doing this and this? Okay, this might feel great, and if it does, go ahead and do it. But a lot of times I find that it kind of hurts the lower back when people do that. So I want you to take your, let's start with one arm and just reach it here. Here's the other thing I don't want you to do. So look at me for a second. I don't want you to look up. I want you to keep your head looking down. And I want you to think about your upper back extending and then your upper back rounding as you take this hand toward the back of the hip. So give me about 4 or 5. And again, if you want to do this for longer, you can. Breathe in, breathe out. Don't hold your breath. And then after you do 4 or 5, you're going to take the same hand and you're going to go over your head, let your hips move, and then to your hip. Over your head, to your hip. Again, about 4 or 5 times. And then you're going to take this arm and you're going to thread it underneath the other arm and then up to the ceiling. Now that rotation may be painful. Do not force yourself to do it. Breathe. Okay, after about 4 or 5, we're going to go to the other side. So we're going to reach and reach. Are you looking down? Is your lower back moving too much? Now we're going to take it over our head and then to our hip. We're going to let that body move. Perfect. Then we're going to take this hand and go underneath the armpit and into the ceiling. Nice. Then you're going to spread the knees a little bit and you're going to sit back and you're going to reach your arms forward. So that's a nice big stretch for the lower back. You can hang here as long as you want. I want you to take deep breaths in and rib cage expands on the inhale. Exhale, rib cage contracts. Inhale, expand the rib cage, big belly. Exhale, pull it all in. All right, now I need you to walk your hands. Walk your hands to one side. I'm moving to my left, and I'm gonna let my right shoulder drop down. And I'm breathing. And then I'm gonna walk back to the center. I'm gonna let my other shoulder drop down as I rotate to the other side. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to the center. And again, you can hold these for as long as you want. For the sake of time, I'm just gonna kind of show you just some quick movements here. Then, I'm gonna take the roller and I'm going to place it right where my rib cage begins, right here. Right at the bottom, I'm sorry, for my rib cage, okay? Bra strap, whatever you want to say. And I'm gonna put my hands behind my head. If you've got long hair, pick up your hair. If you've got a hood on, take it off, because you'll strangle yourself. All right, so you're gonna have that roller right there. Now this is what most people do. They pull their elbows in, okay, and they look down. I want you to open up your elbows and look at the ceiling. Your head is heavy in your hands. You're gonna lift your hips up and you're gonna roll to the top of your shoulder and then right to the mid-back. Don't roll your lower back. Just here and here, okay? So I don't care how many times you do this. 5 or 6. Then you're gonna stop right where you started. So a lot of times people are up a little too high and I say a little lower. I want it right underneath those shoulder blades right there, okay? Right in the mid-back. Walk your feet closer to your butt. Keep your head heavy in your hands, looking up. Take a deep breath in and let those knees drop to the one side. Huge stretch in the back. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, pull them back to center. Inhale, drop them the other way. Breathe. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, bring it back to center. Now you can just do that back and forth as many times as feels okay to you. I would say do it like 3 times each side, okay? So inhale, drop it. Exhale, back to center. Sometimes it feels a little tight the first time, and once we get all that crepitus out of there, we move it around a little bit, those muscles get warmer, we can do it a little bit more. All right, so let's say you did it 3 times, and now make sure that that roller is still at underneath the shoulder blades, because sometimes we scoot up. Drop the knees to the left, and then rotate the right elbow toward the right hip. Now here's what else I see a lot. I tell people to do that, and what they do is they crunch up. I don't want you to crunch up. I want you to rotate to the side. And then both the upper body and the lower body come back to the center. Make sure you didn't roll back, and then drop the knees to the other side and rotate the elbows the other way. Now again, you do this as much as you want, okay? And then I'll have you lift your hips and again, roll shoulder to mid back, okay? Perfect. All right, so hips go down and you can slowly come up to the side. If you wanna go ahead and do another little child's pose just to kind of sit back again, you can do that. If you wanna lay long ways on the roller, head on one end, butt on the other end, and do your shoulder mobility, we can do that. A lot of times that helps people kind of get their spine back in alignment. And sometimes they just can't get on this because their back is too acute and they just don't want to do that. But if you can and you want to go ahead and roll down on your roller, and sometimes just laying here and breathing feels really good. And then you can kind of just tuck your pelvis a little bit and flatten your back a little bit on the roller, and then just get it back into neutral. Just press into that roller. Now think about your rib cage being down, your abs are contracted. Give me some arm circles on this roller. If you have any knots going on in your upper back, really squeeze your shoulder blades around the roller. And then you can reverse. You can do as many of these as you want. Helps with shoulder mobility, also can help kind of get some knots out of the upper back. I like to stop and kind of like lift my shoulder blades up off the roller and then squeeze the roller and then open the arms to the side, stretch the chest, and do that a few times. Again, I don't care how many you do. And then after you do all of that, I like to also do thumbs above the head, gives it a nice big stretch. Don't let the rib cage pop up. Again, do that as many times as you want. The breathing is super important. Breathe. And to finish all that off, if you can do this, right hand goes up, left leg goes up. Your left hand is on the floor, your right foot is on the floor. If you really were feeling adventurous and you wanted to bring your leg up, you could. But because you're feeling some lower back pain, let's give your body some stability here. You're gonna take your left foot and your right hand and take it back, and then exhale as you bring it together. Just creating some extension and flexion here for your back, but it's supported. And just for the sake of time, I'm just gonna do 3, but you could do 6 to 10. And then I'm gonna go ahead and switch sides. And I'm gonna inhale, lower. I'm gonna exhale, bring it together. Breathe in. All right, and then to get off of here, I would just roll off to the side, okay? And then you could roll onto your hands and knees and kind of give yourself another sit back into child's pose. This would be a great time if you have the ability to grab that massage gun again and give that area a nice thump again. You should feel pretty stretched out, should feel pretty good. And hopefully doing that a couple of times a day, all of that will help shorten the time that your back is hurting you. Let me know if this helped you, and stretch, move. Do not just lay down in bed, because back pain will get worse upon laying down and sitting. So move, move, move.